The second question was pretty hard.
It was hard. Okay, we'll discuss it today.
Like, I was doing it by myself and I got
Hmm.
192, and when I checked, it was 38.2 or 38.4. I
Okay,
realized I forgot to do division by 5. That's why.
the last class homework you people are talking?
No, like about the homework, the
Yeah, the
recent
last
homework.
class homework, right?
Yeah, I had a big problem with that. I had to repeat it 10
Hmm.
times.
When we had the last class on Sunday? Yesterday? No, no?
Yeah, on Sunday, on
On
Sunday.
Sunday, right? Okay.
On Sunday only.
Wait a
Ma'am,
minute. Hmm.
which homework or test is this?
You were not there actually. You joined late. This is last week test.
Oh, okay.
Every Tuesday we have a test. So I think from
Oh,
next Tuesday itself you will. I think Basim, right? Tuesday only you had the test.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, this question you are talking about, the average score of 6 players in a cricket team is 48. If the top scorer scored 96 runs, what is the average of the remaining 5 players? Is this?
Yes, ma'am, I felt it very hard. I don't know why. I thought
Okay.
that I had to find the sum
Mhm.
of them. But yeah.
Okay. Anyone else who found this difficult?
No.
No. Okay. So I'll just solve this quickly. Okay. You people can see my screen, right?
yeah.
Oh, sorry. You can see the previous. Hmm. Okay. So I'll just paste the question here. The question was this. The average score of 6 players in a cricket team is 48, right? If the top scorer scored 96 runs, what is the average of the remaining 5? Right? Clear? Just give me. I can't
Yes,
type
ma'am.
it. Okay. So over here, average player is given this. So first of all, we need to, like, whenever we have to find the total runs, how it goes. Average multiply the number of players. Yes?
Yes, ma'am. And then we reordered the formula.
Yes. Right? It's your choice. You can do it other way or this. So average was 48 and this 6, right? So 48 multiplied by, I'm just doing it directly, right? So 48 multiplied by 6. Clear? Yes? So we got 288. Yes? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
And the sum was 96, right? Here, the total run was 96, right? Plus, let's just say x. Okay? So this x would remain here. 288 minus 96. Yes? So after subtracting is 192 you got, right? If I'm not wrong. Right?
Yes,
192
ma'am.
you got. Now this is what? This you got the average of the 5, no, this you got the top scorer run, right? Now you have to find the average of the remaining 5. So how do we find the average? 192 is my total, right? Divided by the number. How many players are there? 5. Yes? This is how we find the average. And we got 38.4. Clear? There is one more step. That's it. To find the average.
That was the last part that I had done mistaken. That's
Yes,
why.
that's the average. Because you got the total from here, right? And then we have to find the average of 5. This is the average of 6 people, right? So that means they scored this. And if from this, if you will subtract the top runner, that means that's the runs basically the other 5 people made, right? Which is 192, right? And if you have to find the average of those 5 players, so they made 192 runs and like sum was 192 and there were only 5 players. So 192 divided by 5, you got 38.4. Fine? Clear? Everyone? Okay. So now students, let's just start with a lines and angle part, which is very important. And you would say you are in 7th class, 8th class, that will help. 9th class, it will help. 10th class, it will help. Right? So all these classes, like this is going to help if you learn the concept from here. Right? Of course, the difficulty level will increase in every class, but the concepts are going to be same. Right? So today we will make some notes of this chapter. Okay? And one by one, we will there are some notes which we will be learning today and accordingly we'll work tomorrow. Okay? Like every day. Okay. So first of all, the few concept is there are few concepts that we need to understand in lines and angles. Okay. So for Mariam, of course, it's a new chapter. So just don't think like you have not done this in your school. Think you have to learn a new chapter. Okay. Consider it like you are learning a new chapter. Don't consider that in school you haven't finished it or anything.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
So now first thing is point, right? Everybody knows what is a point. This is a point, right? But how do we define it? So point is a geometrical element which has no dimension. Dimension means length, breadth, height. There is nothing, right? So a point is a geometrical element which has no dimension. Okay, it has zero dimension, no length, no breadth, nothing. Then line is a straight path, has no end point. That means line can stretch out here also, line can stretch out here also. Line is endless. There is no end for line. Okay. Then the line segment. So what is a line segment? Basically, when I give you that from A point to from B point, from A to B you have to go. I gave you both the points, right? That means this is a line segment. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. And ray has one starting point but no end point. Now let's just understand the difference between all of them. So line is, it has no starting point, no ending point. So it will go like the arrow is there. It can extend here also. It can extend here also. Right? Now line segment. Right? Line segment has two. It has the starting point as well as the end point. Right? For example, from A to B you have to go. Now the ray. Ray has the starting point, right? But it has no end point. It can go anywhere. Got my point?
Yeah.
Yes. So this is what. And what is a point? Point is a geometrical element that has no
Has
dimension.
no dimension.
Right? So you'll quickly write down all these in your notebook. Any doubt?
No.
Ibrahim, I
No,
can't
ma'am.
see you. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay, quickly do
Ma'am,
it.
but I have one doubt.
Hmm.
Ma'am, like a point
Hmm.
technically has dimensions, but it just denotes no dimensions.
Yeah. So over here, like dimension means no length, breadth, height like that.
No, like
Okay.
what I don't understand is that it
Hmm.
can be in like a point can also have like length, breadth, and dimensions, right?
How?
Because it
Length,
still
length,
takes space, little
no.
space.
Say it makes space, but length, breadth are always with the lines. We only measure length, breadth with the help of lines. There is no line.
Oh, okay, okay. I understand. Ma'am, may I go to the washroom?
Yes, Ibrahim.
Ma'am, I finished writing.
Okay.
Ma'am, I finished writing.
Okay. Let's just, I don't know, but Ibrahim is not here actually. Okay, let's just start. Okay, Ibrahim will join in between. I'll explain it again. You have written till Ray, everyone?
Yeah.
No. Now the next one is angles. Okay, so the corner made by interaction of two lines, right? Two lines are interacting here and the corners, right?
Yeah.
Of two lines or line segment are called angles. Clear?
Yeah.
So this is called included angle, which is inside, and these are this. So over here, this is the one. So like sometimes the lines will intersect each other. Then also the angles would be formed, like here, this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle. Sometimes the point would be like lines would be meeting at a corner, right? So sometimes they will intersect each other and sometimes they will meet. So these are the two chances where the angles can be formed. Okay? Done? Fine?
Yeah. Ma'am, we should write this down.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry for taking so much time, ma'am.
Okay, Ibrahim, let's just discuss this. So, what are angles basically? The corners made up of intersections of two lines or line segment are called angles. So, what happened basically? Either two lines would be there, right? They will be joining the corner and the corner would be making the angle, right? Or two lines would be intersecting each other, like crossing each other, right? And this is what. Clear?
Yes,
Okay.
understanding.
Yeah. You wrote the previous one?
No, ma'am. I had to write ray. I had to
Okay,
write
okay.
about ray.
Wait a minute then. Okay, just leave two lines for that. Okay, I'll show you at then.
Ma'am, a segment can be found in a ray and as well as in a ma'am, a line segment can be found in a ray as well as in a line, right?
They all are the different concept basically. Line segment means you have a fixed point. So in array, you don't have any fixed point. You have only a starting point, but not the ending point. But in line segment, you have the starting point as well as ending point. They are fixed. You cannot move.
I'm done.
Everybody has finished? No?
Yes, ma'am, I finished.
Okay. Anyone who's still writing and want me to wait?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. So now let's just move to the next part. Okay. So there are different types of angles now. Okay. So now let's just understand what are they. Okay. So the first type of angle is the complementary angle, right? So when you add two angles and the sum comes at 90 degree, right? So they are called the related angle. Okay. A related angle, the first type is complementary angle. That means like when you add, for example, these are two angles, right? So I added 40 and 50. So my sum is 90 degree. Here also I added 65 and 25. I got 90. When you add two angles and the sum comes as 90 degree, so that means they are complementary angles. Clear? If the sum of two angles is 90, then they are said to be complementary angle, right? Clear? Or you can say the two angles which make up the right angle. Right angle is always of 90 degree. Are called complementary angle. The example are these. They can be two different angle or in one only the angles are divided. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Clear to everyone?
Yeah.
What are only Miriam is getting it or others also getting it?
Yes, ma'am,
Ibrahim,
yes,
Jaseen.
ma'am, I got it.
Oh, clear. Now, for example, if there are angles, right, and their sum comes as 180, not 90, 180. So they are called the supplementary angles. Okay. So if the sum of two angles is 180 degree, then they are said to be supplementary angle. If two angles are supplementary, then they are supplement to each other. Clear?
A square.
Right?
No, not a square. I mean like two right angles.
Uh, yes, it can be two right angles as well. Not a problem.
Okay.
Right? The sum should be 180 degree. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. So quickly write down these.
Finished, ma'am.
Finished, ma'am.
I hope everybody has finished it, right? Anyone who was still writing?
No, ma'am.
Oh.
What does supplement to each other mean?
When you are adding two angles and the sum is 180 degree, that is supplementary. And when the
Okay, ma'am.
sum is 90 degree by adding two, right? So at that time, that is 90 degree. So that is complementary. If the sum is 180 degree, supplementary. If the sum is 90 degree, then it is complementary. Okay.
Understood, ma'am. Finished, ma'am.
I'm finished.
Okay. Everybody finish?
Ma'am, just a
Yes,
minute.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ma'am, done.
Okay. Now moving to the next one. Okay. There is a third type called adjacent angle. Okay. So,
Okay,
whenever just understand it like this way that, you know, for example, in a class, there's a bench, right? Two
Yeah.
students are sitting here, right? But let's just say a third person also came, right? So now what will be the scenario? They need to adjust it like this, right? And now his arm would be touching his arm. His arm would be touching his arm, right? Because now
Yeah.
they are trying to adjust here, right? So when we
Yeah.
adjust, we touch arms to arm, right? Clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
So this is called adjacent angle. Okay. So over here, it's a pair of two angles which are placed next to each other. Okay, they have the common vertex, they have the common arm and a non-common arm. So here, these are not adjacent because they have a gap. This is the adjacent one. So over here, they have this common arm, or you can say
So it's
common
like a
vertex.
double angle. It's like a double
Yes.
angle.
Yes. And like these two are non-common. Clear? Okay.
Yeah.
Finished, ma'am. Math.
Okay. Let's just wait for others to finish, then we'll.
Ma'am, done.
Okay, Basim, you have also finished?
Just a minute.
Okay, okay, done.
Actually, something's covering the screen.
Yeah. Now it's fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a minute, okay. Yeah. Now I think you can see it, right? I was just sending some.
Yes, ma'am, finished.
Okay. Now let's just understand the next one, student. That's very important, and like sometimes it get confused, create a confusion also. Now understand. What I told you, when the sum of two angles is 180 degree, that is called supplementary angle, right? Yes. So
Yeah.
those angle can be like this anyway. It's not compulsory that they are on the straight line. Getting my point?
Yeah.
But when the angles are made on a straight line and the sum is 180 degree, they are known as linear pair. You will not say they are. Like linear pair is of course a part of supplementary angle, but if they are in the straight line, then it's a linear pair. So a pair of adjacent angle whose non-common arms make a single line. These non-common arms are making a single line, right? If they are opposite ray, the linear pair is also a pair of supplementary angle. Why? Because their sum is 180 degree. Clear?
But supplementary angle cannot be a linear pair.
Yes, because
But
it's
a
not
linear
forming a
pair can be
yes.
something.
A linear pair can be known as supplementary angle, but a supplementary angle cannot be known as linear pair. Why? Because it's not here. Like for example, this was 90 and this was 90. It's making 180, but
Yes, ma'am.
it's not compulsory, right? That they are having a straight line, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So adjacent, for linear pair, the condition is they should be adjacent, right?
Ma'am, I
Plus,
didn't get this.
okay. So as you know, in supplementary, I mentioned that the sum should be 180 degree, right?
Yeah.
But for example, if the sum is like this was 90 degree and this was 90 degree and the sum is 180, right? So they
Yeah.
are supplementary angle, but they are not the linear pair, because linear pair means first of all they have a straight line and they would
Okay.
have they would be the adjacent angle, like one after another. They cannot be the two different angles. Clear? So here, like
Yeah.
for example, like this was let's just say this was 80 degree and this was like say 100 degree, for example. So it make 180 degree, right?
So, ma'am, like in the supplementary angle is not possible for linear pair.
Yes. Linear pair is also known as supplementary angle. Why? Because it is the sum is 180 degree. But all the supplementary angles cannot you for linear pair you can call it supplementary angle as well. But supplementary angles you cannot say that's a linear pair, because linear pair the condition is first of all there should be a straight line plus both the angles should be adjacent. They cannot be in two forms, two different angles.
Okay.
Okay. So there is a condition. First of all, they should be adjacent, like they should have something common. Second, supplementary, like their sum should be 180 degree. So the linear pair has a sum of 180 degree and a non-common arms are opposite rays. Right?
Yeah.
Like this. Oh. So never get confused between supplementary angle and linear pair. Linear pair, there should be two
There
conditions.
was slight difference.
Yes, slight difference, but the condition should be met. First of all, adjacent angle and the straight line.
People lose marks in this about this, right?
Sorry?
People usually lose marks. That's why you
Yes.
inform us. Okay.
Because we think like this 180 degree it is, so we write it like no, it's a supplementary, right? So you have to think it's a straight line or not, like that.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, like this is all of the above. This angle is all of the
Yes.
above.
Yes.
So, like, it can come in the exam. Is this
Hmm.
adjacent, supplementary, or linear pair? And then it might say all of the above. So
Yes.
you
So
have to
all of
choose
the
all of
above.
the above.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ma'am, done.
Ma'am, done.
Okay.
Ma'am, I also finished.
Okay. Everybody,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Okay. Now, like, there is a concept of like there is another angle called vertically opposite angle. I hope like it sense makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Easy. Hmm. So it's nothing. It's like this. When two lines intersect, the opposite angle. This angle is opposite to this. This angle is opposite to this. Right? So the when two lines intersect each other, they form four angles. And like B and A, they are vertically opposite angle. M and N, they are vertically opposite angle. Right? Clear?
Yeah.
Ma'am, but like B and A and ma'am, SAQ and PBR are same angles, and same with PMS and RNQ,
No,
right?
so that's why they are not asking you the equal angle. They are asking you the opposite. These two cannot be opposite, right? Opposite means
Yes.
vertical. They have like the condition vertical. So vertical is this and this only, right? Vertical, right? So
Yes,
vertical
ma'am.
and opposite.
Finished, ma'am.
Ma'am, finished.
Finished, ma'am.
Okay. I hope everybody has finished, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So there now the angles part is covered. We have a concept called like lines. Now there are different types of line. Let's just understand it one by one. Okay. Hmm. So the first is the pairs of lines. The first one is intersecting line. Okay. So the two lines touch each other in such a way that there is a point in common. These lines are called intersecting line, and this point is known as a point of intersection. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So quickly write it down. Okay.
I'll have some. Yeah, not this one, I'll have some.
Ma'am, done.
Okay. Everybody has finished?